Hi everyone, I'm Paul Kankowitz, and this is the weekly update for my 2D PvP game with grappling hooks. I spent a lot of time at the start of the week digging into bugs that had been piling up. Looking into these bugs wasn't exactly fun, but sometimes you have to eat your broccoli and work on the boring things to make the game more stable and playable. Towards the end of the week, I just wanted to work on something exciting, so naturally I decided to make a flamethrower trap. I spent roughly 8 hours on it, which was mostly me fumbling around to make the art, but the time went by so fast it only felt like an hour had gone by. It was wonderful. Not everything I make from now on will have this good of art, but I'm proud of the work I did on this one, given that I'm absolutely not an artist. I also wanted to quickly highlight some of the bugs I fixed this week. The first one was an issue where the player was getting stuck in walls by just 1 pixel in rare cases. That one had a good story to it, so there's an entirely separate video that I'll link for that. You can watch my process of tracking down the issue and fixing up that one. Ugh, I'm upset just thinking about it. I fixed an issue where player-player collision assumed there'd only be one other player to check instead of multiple other players. Whoops. I didn't have a specific known issue that this fixed, but I know there was an issue lurking around somewhere, likely when players were stacked up. I clamped the viewport size, so it will never go outside of the room boundary. I then added a catch-all to kill the player if they somehow ever do get outside of the room, just in case. Moving on from the bugs, I made it so the player hop doesn't damage players that are grappling. This makes the grapple sort of like a dodge mechanic, but it still won't prevent trap damage. Ouch! I added fuzzy logic to smoke traps so they would stop making noise all the time. Fuzzy logic essentially means that rather than the trap having a single border to turn on or off, the players have to leave an outer range before the trap disables. This makes it so the players can't just move back and forth along a single border to enable and disable the trap constantly. I sometimes call this the 2-trigger solution. Finally, I tuned the grapple speed values to be a bit slower. The previous speed was made for a single-player game. I feel the new, slower speed will feel better now that the game is a multiplayer PvP game. Well, that's all the progress I made this week. I look forward to sharing more with you next week.